Hi friends, I have a very exciting video today. This is not something that I normally do. I have two large stacks of books next to me actually, because it was my birthday and that means I got a lot of new books. I don't usually shop new books. I have mentioned this before. I'm a big thrift shopper, Kindle girly, all the things, but you know, it was my birthday, so I decided to treat myself. I treated myself to some books. My boyfriend treated me to a lot of books. My parents got me some books. That's pretty much all there is to it, right? You guys just want to see the pretty books. So I have some others I could kind of include from like random thrift trips that I've done, but I'm just gonna do my most recent thrift trip, which if you saw my most recent vlog, I will link it in the card. I just picked up these two from my local Savers. This one I'm very excited about. This is the Complete Tolkien Companion, a detailed and sweeping compendium. The whole book is a valuable reference to have handy when reading, rereading, and rereading Tolkien's work, which is very fitting for me. Lord of the Rings is my favorite trilogy of all time. I don't think there's any pictures in this, but it's essentially like a glossary of a lot of Tolkien Lord of the Rings terms and places and things like that. So I couldn't not get this one. I thought it was really pretty. And then this one was also just a random pickup. This is, I believe, like a historical fiction. Just seemed really interesting. Don't know anything about it. In Love, Time is Not a Barrier. In an unforgettable love story, a woman's impossible journey through the ages could change everything. I love a woman's journey through the ages, giving me Addie LaRue vibes. I thought the cover was really pretty, and the blurb on the back hooked me. So I grabbed this one just from the thrift store. These next two are two of my favorite books that I wanted to have in my personal collection. So I bought them for myself, like, you know, little treat for my birthday. So two of my favorite books of all time, Bunny and Babel. What more can I say? I'm obsessed with this. I'm obsessed with Bunny and I really want to reread this one. I read it on Kindle initially, so I picked up a copy for myself. Probably should have done some more research and got a different cover because the yellow and pink isn't my favorite, but I feel like it's kind of iconic. Babel. This one, I'm also not a hardcover girly. I really love this cover. I just thought this one was worthy of having a hardcover edition. Just really gorgeous. I'll definitely be rereading this at some point, so I wanted to have my own copy. Then we have two mangas that I am in the middle of reading, Sailor Moon. So I have Sailor Moon 5 and 6. I think I'm on 4 at the moment. I started reading 3 and I got about 100 pages in before I realized that I've actually already read volume 3. So I'm actually on volume 4. So I need to catch up. I really would love to do like a manga just marathon at some point this summer. Summer seems like a really fun time to do that. I'm thinking of doing that for a video. I think every single one of these is essentially a fantasy or like a dark academia inspired in some way, shape or form. So this is the only one that I actually just picked up for myself because I saw it was on sale on Amazon for like $7. It's a pretty cheap paperback. It feels like $7, but I've heard really good things about God Killer. I love the stag on the front. The premise seems really interesting. So we got that one. And then these two were gifts from my mom. I had a few on my wish list that I knew I wasn't gonna be picking up for myself. And these are the ones that she said seemed the most interesting to her. She liked the covers and ones that she would want to borrow in the future because I do bring books for my parents to borrow every once in a while. So the first one is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. Very excited for this one, heard really good things. I'm gonna not say that I'm really excited for everyone because I am really excited for all of these, but this one especially because I have said it and I want to read more pirate fantasy. So this one, when I was doing some research, has come up. I've seen a few people talking about it on Twitter recently. The Ever King. I don't know if this is actually pirate themed, but it seems ocean waves kind of pirate, fae realm inspired. Don't know much about it. They stole his crown, so he stole their daughter. For years, Eric, the scarred king of the Ever Kingdom, has thought of nothing but vengeance against the man who killed his father and trapped him beneath the waves, making Eric a prisoner in his own realm. So anything ocean, mermaid, pirate, I really enjoy, especially for summer. So really, really looking forward to this one. And like I said, I've heard good things. Okay, I guess these weren't all fantasy because I do have another Mona Awad. Haven't read Rogue yet, so pick that one up as well for the collection. This just gave me very American Beauty vibes in the blurb as well. Belle is obsessed with beauty, just like her estranged mother Noelle. When Noelle mysteriously dies, Belle returns to Southern California, grappling with the lingering questions surrounding her mother's death, blah, blah, blah. Grimm Brothers fairy tale for the modern age, darkly funny horror. I don't love horror. I like horror in the dark, satirical, kind of weird, magical realism, Mona Awad way. So then also, I mentioned this one in my anticipated reads video. We have The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. Again, with the hardcover, I have a few hardcovers. It's not my usual go-to, but with these like dark black, really pretty, especially with black and gold, I really enjoy. That's kind of like my vibe in my house and my bookshelves. Every once in a while, I'll get the hardcover, and these ones have the black sprayed edges, so very excited for this one. I'm a big fan of Leigh Bardugo. Another where it's not quite fantasy, but it's kind of giving those vibes. This is a Greek mythology. I do not know how to pronounce this. Clytemnestra? Clytemnestra. I will be looking that up before I talk about this again on my channel, but just really was drawn to this cover. As for queens, they're either hated or forgotten. She already knows which option suits her best. Savage, passionate, and absolutely spellbinding. I love any Greek mythology. I would really like to get into more this summer. And the woman who checked me out at Barnes & Noble was really excited about this one too. And she was like, oh my God, you have to come back and tell me what you think of this one. Was asking if I kind of knew the backstory of her, and I actually don't. I just know it's related to something with Helen of Troy. Both of my animals are coming to join. The cat is up there now too. Really pretty. See? This one has been on my radar for a while. I literally know nothing about it, and I don't see anyone talking about it, but it just looks like a book that I want to read and I want to have. Ordinary Monsters. I just read the blurb on this and seemed like something I would like. England, 1882. Again, that pretty much does it. I know I'll like that. In Victorian London, two children with mysterious powers are hunted by a figure of darkness, a man made of smoke. That was enough to get me. This is a thick one. Atmospheric. Just sounds really interesting. Another fantasy. I believe this is a dark fantasy. I've heard a lot of people talking about this one. One Dark Window. Had to see what the hype is about. It was a buy one, get one half off. Something that I probably could have read on Kindle, but I have high hopes for this. I've heard a lot of good things, so I'm really hoping that I like it, and I do enjoy the art on these as well. This has been on my TBR for a very long time. Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. Book one of the Farseer trilogy. Fantasy as it ought to be written. Robin Hobb's books are diamonds in a sea of zircons. Interesting. That's quite a, by George R.R. Martin saying that. So I have high hopes for this. This is a more high fantasy. Really just wanting to get back to my roots and getting back to fantasy this summer. So I'm hoping I can get to that. And then we're down to the last two books. I just saw this in Barnes & Noble and I didn't even know it existed. And I don't actually know where this fits in the trilogy. I believe this is a prequel novel to Discovery of Witches, which I've talked about on this channel a lot. I still haven't finished the series. I need to finish the last book, book 3, which is Book of Life. This one I think is a prequel to the entire series, Time's Covenant. No, The Time's Convert, What Does It Take to Become a Vampire? I believe this is like the origin story of the main character in Discovery of Witches, the main vampire male character. So I think this is how he becomes a vampire. So set even before that. So I really enjoyed those books. So I wanted to add this one to the collection. And last but not least, this one was kind of a, I'm gonna go out on a limb. I have heard good things about Five Broken Blades, and this edition is just beautiful, beautiful. So I think this is like, come on. How pretty is that? Love the art. I'm assuming we're gonna have a map as well. The dedication says, "For my heart and my sunshine and my man of steel." Love that. Yep, we've got a nice map. Five Broken Blades is a dark adventure fantasy full of deadly liars, gray morals, and kingdom-destroying secrets. Sounds good to me. Excited to read this one. This one, I believe, is Korean inspired. I'm gonna double check that because author's note, Korea has a rich mythology and vibrant culture all its own. And as a Korean American adoptee, I drew on my own personal story and experiences to fashion the world of Five Broken Blades. However, it's worth noting that this story is neither historical fiction nor fantasy based on the real world. It takes place in a unique setting that is inspired by my research of Korean myth, legend, and culture. I really love that. I think that sounds really interesting, and I'm really excited to read this one. So I think from these, my first, like my top priorities to read are Five Broken Blades, The Familiar, and The Ever King. I think one of these I'm hoping to read at least in June. If you have recently read, he is killing me right now. I hope he wasn't too distracting in the background of this video and he noticed me pointing at him. He didn't like that. If that's distracting, please let me know. I know people love animals, but like, this is really one of the only spots in my house that has decent lighting that I can film, and there is no way in hell that I'm keeping these animals off this couch when I'm hanging out here. So please let me know if it's distracting. I just am one of those people, I assume that everyone thinks my children are cute. But you know, if you have recently read any of these or if you love any of these books personally, please leave me a comment down below. I would love to know. I definitely need some help with what to prioritize. I've been reading a lot of Kindle books and I'm excited to have some new physical books on my TBR and kind of get back into that physical book reading. I also really enjoy taking a physical book to the lake in the summer. I know that seems counterproductive. It gets all sandy and wet, but to me personally, I find it just holds a special memory when I can take a book and then I go pick it up the next time and I'm like, it smells like sunscreen and there's sand dripping out of it. Like, I just personally really enjoy that. So I think like this one especially, like on a beach, ancient Greece vibes, really excited. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.